started as a ballet dancer is really by luck. I think there was an open day at the local ballet school, and I remember, actually I don't remember this, my mom told me about it. We were walking in front of the ballet school with my brother and my sister and my mom, and there was a sign that said, come up and try it. And I did, and that was purely by luck. My dad had always loved opera, so there was a bit of a musical appreciation in my house, but no ballet at all. And my mom says then after an hour I came out of the ballet studio, and the ballet teacher was a man, which might have been important, who knows, said, bye-bye Federico, see you next week, okay? And I said, yes, see you next week. And that was it, really. I don't actually remember the very first ballet class, but I remember quite early on going to ballet, and my best friend at the time, Nicola, being there, and so we were the only two boys in the ballet class. I just remember having a lot of fun, and probably I wasn't the most, we were laughing a lot. So were we a bit disruptive of the ballet class? Possibly. What I can tell you is then our teacher was really good with us. He made us have fun, and what I remember loving from the beginning was movement and music together. That is really what I fell in love at the beginning. And I had no idea that ballet could actually tell stories. That didn't come until much later. And that was a revelation when I discovered that you could have movement, music, and tell stories. At the beginning, it was purely the excitement of physical exercise together with the music, which I loved. I went to the Prix de Lausanne in my last year at the Turin Ballet Academy, where I was going to school. And yes, I did get a prize, and it was a scholarship prize. Something went wrong, so I didn't actually end up getting the scholarship. I was meant to, I think, go to the Paris Opera Ballet School, and then something went wrong, so I didn't end up going there. Although I got my first contract as a professional dancer. So when I was 18, I joined the Zurich Ballet, and with Heinz Sperli at the time. And Lausanne was a wonderful springboard for me to the European and then international world of ballet. At the time, it was very different from what it is now. I remember after 30 minutes of bar, you could be tapped on the shoulder and said, thank you very much and goodbye. And so many people travel from all over the world. They did 30 minutes of bar and they were out of the competition. I know that it's much changed now. It's a much more of a wholesome experience. The finalists in Lausanne work for a few days and they get to work with choreographers and coaches, so it's much better now, I would say. For me, it was a wonderful experience. And something quite interesting, I would say, about Lausanne is that my classical solo was from Act 3 of Swan Lake, so the Black Swan solo, which is the very same or thereabout that I'm going to dance in a couple of days for my last performance with the Royal Ballet. So it's a funny kind of, circular back to Swan Lake kind of thing. Zurich was a very young company, lots of talent in the company, and I remember looking up to so many of the dancers that were, soloists and principals there. I got to dance quite quickly in Zurich. I think my second year in the company, I got to do Romeo in Romeo and Juliet, which was an amazing opportunity. And as so often happens, is because somebody left the company and then there was an opening, an opportunity for somebody young, and I got that opportunity. So Romeo is another kind of recurrent ballet that comes into my life in many different versions. It's one of the first soloist and principal roles that I've taken on, and of course it's something that I've danced just a few weeks ago here in London at the Opera House. So something that has been with me throughout my career as well. So from Zurich, I auditioned for Dutch National Ballet in Amsterdam, and at the time I was already together with my wife, now wife, at the time girlfriend, and we auditioned together. And we auditioned 2 years in a row, because the first year we didn't get a job. There was no contract available anyway. And the second year we got lucky, and we both got a job in Amsterdam, and we joined the company. And yeah, this is very much a theme throughout our career, mine and my wife, and I think so many other dancers. It's a question of being at the right time, in the right place, really. It's of course a question of talent and hard work. There is a little bit of luck involved as well. And when we joined Dutch National Ballet, it was a much bigger company than did many of the classical ballet repertoire. Then we had done less in Zurich, and of course I danced a lot of the Dutch masters, so Van Manen, Tour van Schaik and Rudin van Danzig, and we started dancing Balanchine there. Of course we also started to dance Ashton in Amsterdam. I remember dancing symphonic variations, and so that was a massive discovery for me, all of this new rep and these new ways of moving, and it was really fulfilling. And after 4 years, I guess I felt I wanted to explore something else. And my wife had worked with Sir Peter Wright in Japan. She had danced in Peter's Nutcracker in Japan, and so she asked him if he could help us audition at the Royal Ballet, which obviously at the time was, is one of the best companies in the world. So I remember thinking, yeah, that's never going to happen, really. And look at that, look at us now, look at me now. And so to say that it's a dream come through is maybe not even true, because it wasn't even a dream. But we did audition, and in the end we both got a job, and we joined the company in 2003, so quite a long time ago now. My first performance in Covent Garden was Romeo, in Romeo and Juliet. So coming back again, you see, it was a nerve-wracking experience. I had been in the company for 2 months already, and I hadn't performed yet. So my first performance was Romeo, and I had one show. So I remember being really stressed about it. I don't know if it was any good. It was necessary to break the ice. And I remember I danced with Mara Galeazzi, who was my first Juliet, and I worked with Donald McCleary. And that's how I really started to learn the style and the way that the company moves, and the way that Macmillan move, and the kind of the particularities of, you could call it the English style, but definitely the Royal Ballet style. And over the years, I hope I kept on learning, and now it becomes now something that feels very close to the way I am. So after all these years in the company, this really feels like my home, my artistic home. And I'm going to be very sad when I leave it. When I talk about the English style, or definitely in a way the Royal Ballet style, it's really about telling stories. So I was talking a little bit earlier about my first love in ballet was movement and music, and that only later I discovered that ballet can actually tell stories. And so I think the English style is how those stories are told on stage. And I guess it's done in a very natural way, and in a very kind of realistic way. Of course, I still try to stretch my feet, to have a nice line in arabesque, and to do my jumps and all of these things. And when we are dancing, that's what we're doing. And then at some point we stop, and we just stand on 2 feet, and then we tell the story through emotion and through movement in a kind of a natural way. I think that's what it's a particularity of how the Royal Ballet tells stories. Not just the Royal Ballet, but the Royal Ballet does that. I would love to talk about some of the rep that I've done here, some of the rep that I created, then choreographers created on me. I'm a little bit worried because I know I'm going to miss out something really important, because really the variety of the rep of the company is one of the strongest point of the company. This is one of the reasons why people want to join this company. So one of the high points that I remember of being in a new creation, of course, it has to be Chroma by Wayne McGregor. We created that now, I can't believe it, it's more than 10 years ago. It was such a special moment. And other moments is with Chris Wilden, and I could talk about Alice in Wonderland or A Winter's Tale and many other things. And more recently it's been Dante and Wolfworks with Wayne, and of course Frankenstein with Liam. And I know I'm gonna leave out something really important. The reality is that I was lucky to be in the company at a time where lots of new creations were happening. And that was wonderful, because as a dancer, as an artist, you really want to bring your own contribution to the creative process. And lots of the choreographers I've worked with are very generous in the way they create. So although they are very much in control of the creative process, they harness the creativity and collaboration from the dancers. And that is a wonderful process to be involved in. It's very tiring, very intense, and at the same time very rewarding. To prepare for a new role, I often read the book, if it's based on a novel. Do I watch the movie, the film? Sometimes I do. Mostly, I guess, I read the book. And what I find sometimes is, of course, the ballet is a version of the story in the novel. So the novel informs my interpretation. It cannot define it, because in a sense that is it's a reinterpretation of the novel through the imagination and the creativity of the choreographer. And of course, as an interpreter, I try to add my own layer as well. So it's really about understanding where the story comes from, what is what are the driving emotions, the passions, and then understanding what the choreographer wants to emphasize, what the production. So when you work with a choreographer, of course, I can ask questions and we can discuss it, and that is wonderful. And sometimes you learn a production that the choreographer is no longer with us. So it might be, I don't know, L'Histoire de Manon, or it might be Onegin. And so there too you have to understand, I always try to understand that the original work of literature is one thing, and the ballet created on top of that is a further creative endeavor. So it's basically using the novel as a starting point and then really understanding what the step and the choreography wants to portray, and then working it out with your partner. It's going to be a different ballet, a different interpretation, depending with whom you're dancing, because it's really that magic that happens on stage when you look at your partner into the eyes and you bounce off her or his ideas and interpretation. And that's the most wonderful and really rewarding part of live performance and of creating and telling a new story each time that we perform it. I've had a few opportunities to dance with my wife, Hikaru Kobayashi, and at the Opera House we danced The Sleeping Beauty together, and she's danced as Countess Lariche in Mayerling, and actually that was her last performance. We've danced more times outside of the company as guest artists. Yeah, that's always been very special. It can be also tricky because you know, it's the relationship you have in your private life, and then how does it transfer to the stage. But we've been doing quite well, I believe. You should ask her. Talking about partners, and again, this feels a bit of pressure because I've had so many wonderful partners, and I almost want to stop myself from saying names, because I've been lucky to dance with so many and to learn from so many and to really create a special partnership with so many of the wonderful dancers, of the wonderful women of the company here at the Royal Ballet. And that has really been one of the gifts that this company has given me, and I really enjoyed it so much, the relations that we managed to build on stage and in the studio. And it's one thing that I will definitely miss when I stop performing, this relation with this wonderful artist and interpreter, and the process then brings us to perform on stage and to tell a story on stage. I'm going to miss that. So what has made me decide to stop? I have loved my career and my dancing. I've been so lucky. I really, really, truly am thankful for everything that I got to dance and to do. And I'm still enjoying it. It is getting harder with age. I'm 43, soon 44. So that is a good age to get to still be performing. And but really it was clear for me in the last few years that I wanted to take a step. You see, I love performing, and I really equally love watching ballet. And I really would love to be a facilitator, somebody that makes it possible for these wonderful stories, for these wonderful artists that are the dancers and the choreographers and the musicians, and everybody then participate in these productions that we put on stage. I really enjoy the process of putting on a performance, of creating a new story. And so this is where my passion lays. And so this is really what I wanted to do for the past few years. And so what an opportunity when Northern Ballet, the opportunity to join Northern Ballet as the artistic director came along. I was really happy to go for it, because actually what the company stands for is these stories that are told on stage. And so I feel very close to this tradition that the Northern Ballet has. And so I really hope that I can contribute and bring my ideas and contribute to the vibrant offering the company already has, to bring it to continue in that development. I danced with the company, with Northern Ballet, for their 50th anniversary gala, and I danced the balcony pas de deux of their version of Romeo Juliet, which is by Massimo Morricone. And it was really nice, because I went up to Leeds a number of times to learn the choreography and rehearse with Abby, and then, well, just the performance. And it was a real celebration for the company. 50 years is an important date. And it was a really good atmosphere to be up there. Of course, I had danced the full production of Romeo and Juliet by Morricone in Italy previously, so I actually knew the whole production. And so it felt like a very natural thing to join them for their celebration for the 50th anniversary. And so I've already started to go up and down to Leeds, even before I start as artistic director in May, and to really get to know everybody better, to get to know how the company works and the mechanism of the company. And they are a terrific group of artists, dancers and creatives. So I'm really excited to start with them. And at the same time, I'm so sad of leaving the Royal Ballet and all my colleagues and friends here, and how these two very different emotions can coexist. Yeah, it's interesting and happy and sad at the same time. I did the CLO Fellowship. It's been now 3 years ago, maybe more, 4 years, I can't remember. It was a wonderful opportunity. It's the strength of this program is that it gets together artists and creatives from all walks of life. So I was the only dancer, but there were musicians, actors, visual artists, and they all get together and they go through this intense period of learning and kind of introspective searching, and really you start to understand, why do you want to do that? What is your calling, in a sense? And that was a wonderful opportunity that I had. And of course, the fact that my director, Kevin O'Hare, let me do that, because of course I was absent from the company for the better part of a season. I'm very thankful for that support in my development. And the group of people that did the fellowship with me are an amazing group of people, and I've learned so much from them. I expected to learn from the people coming to teach us at the fellowship, so all the grandees and directors here and there. I expected to learn from these people, but actually the group of people that was doing the fellowship, that was where I really learned a surprising amount of things, and I shouldn't be surprised, but I was at the time, and it was a wonderful experience. I don't think I will choreograph. I guess never say never. I think I'm a creative person, and I am very comfortable about contributing my ideas. I don't think I have the calling of being a choreographer. I have always loved being a part of a creative process. That's what I look forward to be as an artistic director. I will not do my own choreographies, and I look forward to be involved in a very respectful way in the creative process. And I see my role as the one that creates the space where creativity can really thrive. And basically asking the questions and providing the space for people to ask the right question and to find some of the answers for the new productions and the new choreographies. I have lots of ideas, and I am raring to bring my contribution to Northern Ballet. At the moment, I would prefer not to give too much away. Of course, I don't start until May. I've already started to reach out to some of the people that I admire in the world of ballet and dance and beyond. And what I can tell you is that I really am determined that to develop the tradition of Northern Ballet, of the company, of narrative ballet. And so it's all about the stories, and what I really want to have an effect on is the diversity of the perspectives of the stories that are told on stage. And I think it's through this diversity of perspective that we can really continue to delight our loyal audience, and we can also reach out to new audiences. And Northern Ballet is the widest touring company in the UK, and so I think that is a real opportunity for us to really make a push to reach new audiences and keep our loyal audiences close at the same time. And so it's going to be hard, and I'm going to need the help of everybody in the company. And I think it's as I was saying, a terrific group of people and dancers, and I think it's going to be really fun, challenging, and I can't wait to get started. I'm moving to Leeds, and I am moving over the summer. So although I start in May, I am going to be based in London till my daughter finishes her school year. And then over the summer we're going to move, so my whole family move to Leeds, and then we're going to be there. So this is really the time where I'm commuting up and down, and then when the tour starts, it's going to be, of course, commuting to the various venues where we go performing. And I'm looking forward to getting to know Leeds better. And what I can tell you is that everybody says that people in Yorkshire are very friendly, and I can tell you so far, and that's well deserved. That's what I found as well.